Dance with me tonight, time passing by. Come on, out to the dance floor. Am I in a dream? And I feel a breeze. Come on, wada. Dance with me tonight, time passing by. Come on, out to the dance floor. Am I in a dream? And I feel a breeze. Come on, let me see you hit the dance floor. Come on. Dance with me tonight.
Dobry wieczór. Au. Głośniej mi to dajcie. W sumie to jest jakiś guzik do... Nie to. Kurna. Chyba nie tutaj, nie, to nie tutaj było. Czy jest jakiś fajny guzik do wyciszenia kompletnie? Nie. Świetnie. Najważniejsze guziki, ich nie ma. Kurde, głośniej, ciszej, wycisz i co tam jeszcze parę innych, ale nie pamiętam jakich teraz. Kurde. Jak to wyłączyć? A. Dobra, nieważne. Sekcja 28. Avalon. The Garden of Avalon. Tam siedzi ten frędzel. Trzeba mu najebać. Section 28. The moment a planet is born. That's the name of the chapter. So this is Avalon, the planet's inner sea. This is where proper human history's King Arthur is said to have gone after he died. It's the biggest flower garden I've ever seen. I tego zrekrutować może, ale priorytety. Right? There's no such thing as evil in paradise. It's a separate world that neither influences nor is influenced by the surface, no matter how apocalyptic things may be up there. All there is here is hope. This place is a workshop that weaves together all possibilities to lead this planet and you guys to a happy ending. That being said, these are still only the remnants of Avalon, a shadow being projected into the British Lostbelt. So you're saying this is some kind of remnant from the ashes? The tower imprisoning me isn't here, there isn't much mana in the air, and there's no lake where fairies gather. No tower? Excuse me, what the fuck is this? The only thing here is the site of selection. The forge where the 6 fairies were supposed to create the sacred sword. The site of selection, is that anything like the stone that contained the sword of selection in the legend of King Arthur? The one that Arthur found when he was still a squire, being raised as Sir Hector's adopted child. The one he pulled the sword of selection from to demonstrate that he was destined to be king? That's right, it basically signifies the same thing, and my job is to guide you all here. There. There, see that altar up on top of that hill? That's your destination. It's only a stone's throw away, but you will need to pass through a few checkpoints of sorts to reach it. Think of them as Avalon's defense mechanisms, one final test to make sure everything's in order. Everything the Fairy of Paradise has done to date will appear there as obstacles to be overcome. Everything she's done to date? That's right, you will be going over a scrapbook of her life, so to speak, and making sure there are no loose ends. It will be a little journey in its own right, one that starts with a cold, unforgiving winter and ends with a warm, fun spring. To są max 3 miesiące, what the fuck. Based on how things have gone before, it's safe to say the first obstacle will be the hardest, for many reasons. Dobry wieczór. Marcisław, your job is to remove those obstacles and help the Fairy of Paradise advance. Don't worry, you will be going from hardship to good times, so it will only get easier the closer you get. And just so we are all clear, let me repeat, the Fairy of Paradise's duty is to create the sacred sword. By doing so, the British Lostbelt will lose its divergence point and human history will be stabilized once again. Without its tree of emptiness, the British Lostbelt will simply fade away like all the others. And most importantly, the Sacred Sword's creation will lead directly to the protection of human history. Were this Britain to mix with proper human history, the result would be a world that never had the Sacred Sword. That would close off the road you have to take to defeat the foreign god. Then again, the foreign god can't stop the collapse either, so you'd both be screwed there. Anyway, I think that's everything you need to know. Any questions? So, making the Sacred Sword is Artoria's duty. Come on, Marcisław, why so gloom? It's okay, there's nothing to worry about. I'm still the child of prophecy, remember? This is the moment I've been working toward all this time. I rang all the bells so I could come here. Besides, I've known this was my duty since I rang the 4th bell in Orkney. Próbuję sobie przypomnieć, który był lepszy, drugi czy pierwszy. Chyba drugi. I planned to come here alone once Nuknarea was coronated. So don't worry about anything else, okay? Besides, Kalia needs one of those divine construct things too, right? Then we'd better hurry. I'm going to protect the Britain I grew up in. And you guys are going to take back the world you grew up in. We need to do this to make both those things happen, and now it's time to get to it. That's all. This will be the end of our journey. I'm lucky my pilgrimage has been so much fun. Now come on, Marcisław, let's head to the site of selection. Besides, it's not every day you get to go to Avalon, so let's make the most of it. Just watch my back until it's over, okay? Winter Memories. To będzie taka ścieżka, czyli to ma być Place of Selection, a nie Garden. Czy tam Tower of Avalon. Wygląda identycznie. Wygląda identycznie. Man, this sure is a huge flower garden. Couldn't be more different from Britain burning to the ground. So the fact that it's called Land of the Young must mean there's plenty of food to go around and people have all the time they could want, right? Yeah, makes sense. There's no war or animosity here. Not much reason to do anything bad if you don't gotta take anything from anyone to have what you need. That's true. When you have everything you need, there's no void for you to fill. That's another way. This place is very different from the British Lostbelt, which literally had to be built by filling in the sea with the bodies of dead fairies. A, mówiłem, że skończył mi się Game Pass i te dwie serie, co robię z Game Passa, giereczki, to się trochę poszły hech, co nie? To sprawdziłem moje kody, które miałem i to mamy w tym momencie Game Passa tak na 3 miesiące jeszcze. Za pół darmo. Bo 60 zł za Game Passa to ja płacił, urwał nie będę. Jakbym mógł. Chyba da się jeszcze, no ale to też już mi urwali miesiąc, bo już to tak nie działa. Dało się kiedyś kupić sobie kilka miesięcy Games for Xbox Gold, czy jak to tam się nazywało. Czyli ten abonament PlayStation Plusowy na Xboxa. I potem dokupić miesiąc Game Passa, który automatycznie tamte miesiące Golda przerabiał na miesiące Game Passa. Tak sobie w sumie z tego co rozumiem, ludzie wcześniej radzili, że kupowali 10 miesięcy takich tańszych kodów na Golda i 1 miesiąc Game Passa. Mając dzięki temu 11 miesięcy Game Passa. Teraz już tak fajnie nie ma, teraz to zmienili, że to nie idzie 1 do 1, tylko każde 3 miesiące Golda dają nam 2 miesiące Game Passa. Śmieszne to jest to, że teraz Game Pass kosztuje 6 dych za miesiąc. To jest śmieszne. Po jednej stronie ulicy ludzie świętują, że kolejna firma zostaje zeżarta przez wielką korporację, a po drugiej stronie ulicy ludzie tak się zastanawiają, dlaczego właściwie Game Pass podrożał znowu? Może dlatego, że wygryzają konkurencja i wszyscy im przyklaskują. Speaking of which, this seems like a good time to tell you about what's going on above ground. The prophecy may have said there are two calamities, a red one and a black one. Actually though, there's no limit to the number of calamities, remember that? New calamities will continue to appear as long as their source remains. The calamities will never go away until Kernunos, the being continually punishing the fairies for their sins, is truly vanquished. Furthermore, thanks to Morgan's hard work, fairies born in the land of the Fae can migrate to proper human history. That means the calamities won't be contained to Britain, they will spread into and then all across the bleached world until nothing remains of proper human history. It would basically be a smaller scale version of the King of Mages' incineration of humanity. So you guys need to defeat every last one of the calamities before that happens. Yay! Więcej roboty. I see, then we can't let Kernunos' curse spread any further. W ogóle, obejrzałem pierwszy odcinek Zomchiaku i pierwsza połowa odcinka to jest literalnie ten mem, że uwaga, kończą ci się zapasy, jakoś to będzie. Czy chcesz kontynuować? We need to stop his calamities while they are still contained in Britain. Exactly. The calamity burning down Britain right now is actually the great calamity that was supposed to happen 1000 years ago. W ogóle, kto jest odpowiedzialny za Zomchiaku? Ten pierwszy odcinek wyglądał zarąbiście dobrze. A, jest Bug Films. Kto? Skąd się to studio wzięło? Założyli je w 2021. Skąd się wzięli w nim ludzie? Nie mam pojęcia, skąd się to studio wzięło, ale no dobrze ta bajka wygląda. Morgan averted that calamity by passing it on to a Fang clan fair. The calamity burning down Britain right now is actually the great calamity that was supposed to happen 1000 years ago. Morgan averted that calamity by passing it on to a Fang clan fairy, Barghest, the leader of Black Dogs. She's not the fairy you knew anymore. She's now burning all of Britain as the Black Calamity, the calamity of the beast. This was all foreseeable. This was all foreseeable. She was born the child of calamity, after all. On wymyśla te terminy na poczekaniu. Co to kurwa jest child of calamity? It was Morgan who sealed that fate away by gifting her a name. She said that as long as Barghest was Gawain, she would never become a mythical hound. But even that could only go so far. Barghest was already at her limit, even without you guys defeating her. Honestly, it's impressive she lasted as long as she did. Nieprawda, czasem Da Vinci wymyśla coś na poczekaniu. This won't be easy to hear, but you need to understand. Once you get back to the surface, you will have to fight more than just Cernunnos. Like I said, we can't afford to let the calamities leave Britain. Na przykład analizę, albo ten taki śmieszny śmigłowiec, co go sobie wymyślił Da Vinci. Z Reksia możecie kojarzyć, bo to jest, no właśnie, to ten helikopter-śmigłowiec to jest real deal rzecz, którą sobie Da Vinci narysował. Jak mówię narysował, chodzi mi o cały schemat. Jest taka strategia, Rise of Legends, i to jest taki właśnie renesansowy Vinci Punk. No, chyba dobry tytuł, bo tam też ludzie są nazywani jako Vinci. No i tam są właśnie te takie głupie śmigłowce z tym takim świdrem zamiast normalnego śmigła. Letting some fairies migrate to proper human history was a nice idea. Unfortunately, in Barghest's case, that was never an option. As for the other calamity, Cernunnos, that one you can fight without having to feel bad or worry. O, albo jeszcze lepiej, co Da Vinci wymyśliła na poczekaniu w Jerozolimie, jak byliśmy. Kurde, samochód wyścigowy. Taki, co potrafi popitylać po piasku. To były czasy. His soul was shattered 14,000 years ago. Now he's just a corpse that's not quite done dying. That said, he's still a very powerful god. His flesh has grown thick enough over those millennia to rival Albion's spirit cavern. And his cursed layer is equivalent to 400 kilometers worth of geological stratum. His flesh has grown thick. Dokładnie to powiedziałem, jak się tylko pojawił, było who boy? He thick boy. You will need the God of Wisdom's curse dispelling all the fighting forces Chaldea can master and a divine construct made especially to combat Cernunnos. Even then you will only just be able to scrape by. Już się nie mogę doczekać, aż będę siedział na nim godzinę, a potem znajdę w internecie jakąś fajną taktykę na wysolowanie go kurna tym Enkidu. W sumie to miałoby sens, bo gnój jest divine, więc by był stunowany przy każdym użyciu NP. Thinking about it, you honestly may not stand a chance. And I can't help you either, since I can't leave this place. The best I can do is show you the way. Ale ten Enkidu jest wymaksowany, tak? Nie? Ma tylko... Special damage nabity. Czy Enkidu ma special damage berserker? A już muszę zobaczyć. Bo wiem, że jest kilka postaci, które mają special damage berserker. Bo jak tak, to będziemy tam być i... Czy ja mam w ogóle pieniądza dość, żeby to zrobić? Tych monetek na Enkidu. Powinienem. Co ja próbuję zrobić? A, tak. Servant, main classes, lancer. Tak. Enkidu ma anti-berserker attack damage aptitude. Fany. Do tego chyba Kernunos ma na sobie... Dokładnie, Kernunos ma na sobie Threat to Humanity. To jest śmieszne, akcje... Co to jest? A, dobra, już wiem, co to jest. Hehe, to jest niby takie śmieszne. A grałeś ty może w Alien Isolation? Bo tam na ścianach jest napisane wszędzie 2137. A motherfuckers próbują to tłumaczyć, że to wcale nie tak, że jakieś śmieszki czy coś, to po prostu akcja gry dzieje się w 2137. Kto własną krwią w momencie śmierci wypisywałby datę? Sprzeciw, Ewangelion ma chuja, a nie nawiązania do religii. Oh man, I was really hoping to avoid this story ending in total annihilation. Tak jakby powiedzieć, że Final Fantasy VII ma nawiązania do mitologii skandynawskiej. Bo miasta nazywają się Nibelheim, Helheim... to wszystko. What? I know, right? If only we had a Godslayer's weapon lying around somewhere. Artoria, dawaj mi swój kostur. But we do. We have the perfect trump card for taking on Kernunos. In fact, it will be a piece of cake. Really? But where is that trump card? It's Muramasa. A racja, Muramasa przecież ma special damage divine. Serio? Gdzie? No ten Muramasa ma na swoim trzecim skillu. Say what? Come on, don't you remember? You told us you could cut any god you came across. In fact, you were bragging about how you cut a gigantic one clean in half in that, Olympus place? So there's no reason you can't do the same thing here, and since you didn't do anything noteworthy in Camelot, this will be your chance to clear your name. A, ona powiedziała clean your name. Do you mean clear your name? Is that what you say in proper human history? I see. Good to know. Well, sure, if you really want me to, I can try to cut him down. There, see? He can do it. Just goes to show it never hurts to ask. Sheesh, you are finally letting yourself be selfish, and that's the first thing you say? I said I'd try, okay? Don't get your hopes up. Not sure how much I can do against that thing. Ej. Artoria for real zrobiła tak. Kiedy ja wyłączyłem mikrofon? A wiem, dobra, jak muchę tam chciałem szczelić tak, żeby nikomu uszy nie wybuchły. Czyli trzeba się wrócić. Master, Artoria just disappeared. Is this one of those checkpoints you mentioned, Merlin? Yep, this is the first. She's facing her own memories now. And while she's doing that, you guys will need to fight and defeat those. Merlin, are those... I tam była opcja Albion's Wyverns? Jakbym ją nacisnął, to pewnie Merlin by powiedział We've got Wyverns. Hell yeah! Those are radical, abstract embodiments of Artoria's winter memories. She will never be able to defeat those memories until you defeat them. But they shouldn't pose any major threat to you now that you've come this far. Go on and give them a good thrashing. I will fight too, of course. It's been ages since I last showed up, after all. Plus, I've been wanting to see how much stronger you and Mash have grown up close in person. Niestety, ale... Trzeba jeszcze raz. I see, we've got Avalon wyverns. Close but no cigar, now come on, get your hands in the game. To już było. Merlin, frajerze, miałeś powiedzieć That's right, master, we've got wyverns. Hell yeah! I co, znowu będzie ich 6 na turę? Au.
よし戦いだ。苦手だけど全力でいこうか。
妖精が何だってんだ。やることは変わらねえよ。さて櫛灘姫先に行く。神髄解明完成理念。
No spierdoliłem, powinienem mu dać jeszcze buffa z Mystic Code'u.
メイドの土産に拝みやれ。これが俺のスムカリ村正だ。
それ。
わかった。
Definitywalnie. To było zabawne do momentu, aż nie zaczęli... To, że jest 6 przeciwników, jest zabawne do momentu, aż wszystkie 6 nie zacznie atakować w tej samej turze.
お待たせ。夢のように片付けよう。君の道行きを信じよう。さあ、行きなさい。
まだ倒れません。
折れんなよ。
小さな
あの辺りか。
ここには一つ。
神髄解明完成理念収束鍛造技法臨界メイドの土産に拝みやれ。これが俺のスムカリ村正だ。
そこは壁もなく城もなく国すらない始まりの空。地の底で輝く原初の星。魂のありかを見せようか。ガーデン・オブ・アバロン。
Urwał.
Status これで耐えます。
お待たせ。夢のように片付けよう。
切る先に行く。
了解。押し切ります。
くれてやるよ。
倒れません。
折れんなよ。切るぜ。
了解。押し切ります。
そこに至るはあまたの研鑽。気づきに気づいた刀塚。縁起をもって宿業を断つ。八重垣作るは戦時の刃。散った成仏していきな。 こ
了解。
先に行く、
ターゲット。
あったあったあった。久しぶりの運動は応えるね。
O, 99 dzwonków. Trochę więcej niż nice i prawie good. I don't know why, but those things felt really awful to fight. That's not actually all that surprising. Those were Caster's most painful memories given physical form. Mieli takie fajne ataki jak lie, abuse i tak dalej. We have no way of knowing what they are, but by defeating them, we felt some of the same feelings they inspire in her. Huh? Where did you all go? You just disappeared on me out of nowhere. I was really worried. Hey, you disappeared. We've been here fighting off weird Moors and... Now, Muramasa, all in good time. Deszcz zaczął padać, zaraz będzie zrynny znowu kapać, będzie trzeba zamknąć okno. She has ablutions she needs to perform to enter the site of selection, and we have obstacles to remove. We only have 3 more of these to go. Let's just take them one at a time. Whatever you have to say can wait until after we've reached the site of selection. No, I don't have to do so I don't have to do any fighting this time? Sounds good to me. Come on, let's keep going. O Jezu, ale leje. O, już zaczyna. Już zaczyna napieprzać. Okej, cyrkulacja powietrza stworzona. Wiatraka praktycznie nie słychać, widzę, więc jest dobrze. Praktycznie. Muszę go chyba jednak troszeczkę przestawić na bok. Okej, numer 3. Whenever I close my eyes, this is where I'd be. It didn't matter if I was awake or asleep, I'd still be shivering from the frigid wind. Howling, howling, wind strong enough to shatter your ears. With another to protect me, my body feels cold as ice. With nothing to protect me, my body feels cold as ice. Surrounded by pitch darkness with nothing for warmth and no hope of escape, that's how I grew up. For me, Britain was pure hell. The prophecy was true. She will be our salvation, she will be our absolution. She is the savior who washed up on our shore along with the name Artoria. May you grow healthy and strong to the age of 16. May the Queen's soldiers never find you. Now go on, hurry, 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 hurry. Hurry and greet your 16th birthday. We have complete faith in you, which is why you must give everything you have for us. Wow, kto by się spodziewał, że wróżki są kurwa najgorsi. Jeszcze gorsi niż gracze. A small newborn fairy washed ashore in a boat loaded with all kinds of treasure. What an incredible stroke of luck, this girl must be the child of prophecy. What a horrible omen, if the High Queen finds out about her, we will be all done for. The village fairies' opinions were split right down the middle, but they all agreed on what should be done. At least the child of prophecy should be useful. We will raise her ourselves until she turns 16. But she's the fairy of paradise, right? I don't like her. I'm sure she's going to mock us. She doesn't deserve a proper house. What do humans do with creatures like that again? I know, they raise them as livestock. We can make her a lovely little we can make her a lovely little stable. The other villages will never find out about her if we say we are raising a horse. We can keep the child of prophecy all for ourselves. The fairies of Tintagel treated me as a precious resource. I had almost no magical energy, which made them all worry about me. It's been 4 years since she got here and she still has barely any magical energy. Poor thing, she may as well be a human. I can't believe she still can't do anything impressive. I'm worried, will she be able to survive like this? I know, we need to train her. We need to be harder on her, methodical with her. We can't even give her time to sleep. Forgive us, Caster, this is all for your own good. The way you are now, you can't even dream of being the child of prophecy, and we don't have any time for dreams. We really need to have her grow at least a little. You can barely tell her apart from a human. No one will believe she's the child of prophecy like this. Not even when she turns 16. Who cares if she can defeat the queen or not? All that matters is that she's valuable. It doesn't matter whether she's the real child of prophecy or not, she just has to look the part so we can get rich. Why else would we bother taking in the fairy of paradise? We just have to make sure she doesn't die. She don't have to worry about her running away. We don't have to worry about her running away. She's much too weak to do that. But the village fairies didn't know that my fey eyes still worked. However much I wished I couldn't, I always saw the true feelings they kept to themselves. Deep down they all feared and loved me. The fairies that feared me believed in the child of prophecy with all their hearts, and worked me like a slave. The fairies that loved me hated the fairy of paradise and abused me without a second thought. Aside from that, all anyone felt for me was indifference. I was considered a precious resource, but treated like I wasn't even there. But I couldn't blame them for that. I more or less knew what my duty was. I was to bring salvation to the fairies of Britain, to free them from their suffering, and to save them in the true sense of the word. Even as a child, I understood that fulfilling my duty would mean the end of Britain as it existed now. I could deal with the slave driving, the abuse, and the disinterest because I knew the reasons behind them, but this sound was too much to bear. Asleep or awake, there was never a time I didn't hear it. Howls of deceit, howls of self-interest, howls of selfishness, howls of envy, the sounds I could never shut out, the sounds of the fairies' true feelings. It was enough to make me lose track of where I was and where I was meant to go. I hear bells ringing. They tell me to go on a pilgrimage to save the fairies. Honestly, this sound depresses me too. I know it's supposed to be an honorable mission, but how in the world am I supposed to save fairies like that? Ha! Yeah, die! So that's why I'm out in this nearby field again, hard at work on my training. Nie gram psa, bo on jest zbyt potężny. Poza tym już jednego dziadka mamy. Today is another day of close quarters combat practice, czytaj CQC, with the staff of selection which arrived with me on my boat as a weapon. I can't use anything like Fey domains, so the only thing I can do with a staff is bob people. Darcie pizdy w języku Artoriów. It was an early afternoon in my sixth year. I had just collapsed from exhaustion. My melee combat training was the only time I had to myself once the villager keeping an eye on me left. Figuring I was so weak I wouldn't be able to escape. Anyway. Swoją drogą, melee to jest piękne słowo. To jest słowo, które jest angielskie, ale żaden Angielczyk nie potrafi powiedzieć, jak się je wymawia. Każdy ma swój sposób. Then, just as my voice was trailing off, potrafię jednego dnia usłyszeć mele, mili, mlaj, mile i tak dalej i tym podobne. Co to jest? Taiga is everywhere system? A jak tak, to spoko. That was nasty. The fairies at your place are pretty horrible, you know that? Huh? Did you just talk stuff? No, I'm not the staff of selection. I'm just a nosy old busybody. And I just couldn't take how awful Tintagel is anymore, or how sickening it is to see you doing everything they tell you. I just had to say something. I swear I wasn't planning on getting involved, but now I just don't think I have a choice. Listen up, I'm Merlin. Merlin, the Mage of Flowers. I'm going to be your teacher from now on, don't forget it. That was how I met Merlin, or at least his voice coming from the staff of selection. That was how I began studying to be a mage. I w sumie jak tyle tych taigów poleciało, to można jakieś append skille porobić. Albo level 120 powbijać. Magecraft? I know about that. Queen Morgan uses that. But what exactly is it? What exactly are you going to teach me? What do you mean? Magecraft, of course. Merlin Magecraft, trust me, it's really something. Oh, will it let me fly like a bird? Like zoom, whoosh, foo? Flying, you'd like to fly, huh? That's a pretty tall order for your first spell. You don't know how to fly? What are you, some kind of quack? Oh no, she's British. Oh no, I can fly easily. I'm the amazing Merlin. But let's hold off on that one for now. Not even the Wind Clan can fly, after all. The sky is the dragon's domain. Only precious few upper-class fairies can go there. So, for your first spell, let's start with something closer to home, something that will make your life easier. Tell me, is there anything you could use right now that would make you happy? Okej, to jest problem. Jak na razie to mi ten program tylko zghostował parę razy input, ale teraz go przytrzymał. Wow. Tell me, is there anything you could use right now that would make you happy? Well, I guess I'd like it if nighttime was warmer. My house gets really cold. It even freezes over in the winter. I actually lost 2 toes last year cause of that. I haven't told anyone else though, it's too embarrassing. Got it. I will start start getting a lesson ready for you right away. Just give me 2 days to find some teaching materials. Merlin taught me all sorts of spells: hitting, detection, healing, linguistics, camouflage, lockpicking, stealth attacks, explosives, obstacles. Every time I expressed interest in learning a new spell, he'd say, "Sorry, I can't today. You will just have to wait until the next lesson." And then we'd make magecraft items together. Those lessons formed the foundation of my Merlin Magecraft. Looking back on it, he must have had to change the spells a lot just so I could use them with my tiny pool of magical energy. Say, why are you teaching me all this when every British fairy hates me? Because I'm not a British fairy. Sorry, just kidding. The fact is, you are the fairy of paradise, no matter what the fairies of your village think. Eventually, most fairies will come to follow you. When they do, you will need to be the ideal, the kind of savior that everyone dreams of, a fantastical savior. Fantastical? That's right, you will need to be a character straight out of a children's story. Everyone has different fantasies. Some want a strong king, some a kind king, some a scary king, and so on. A propos kind kingów. My Animalist. Fuck. Jak się to pisało? Leci w tym sezonie taki niespecjalny magiczna szkoła shonen. Nazywa się Yusha Kyoshitsu. Eiyu Kyoshitsu. On nie jest jakiś specjalny, ale dyrektor szkoły nazywa się, uwaga, zaraz go pokażę na ekranie. Król Gilgamesz i głos mu podkłada Riki Yakoyama. Więc Gilgameszowi podkłada głos Kiritsugu. Do tego wygląda trochę jak Iskandar, więc mamy pełen ensemble w jednej postaci. You need to inspire hopes and... Jechałem do samego dołu? Tak. Your job is to be able to be all of those things. You need to inspire hopes and dreams, or rather bring them all together. Everything wants something different, so a single name would only get in the way. That's why you need to be a nameless king. Is that a motherfucking Dark Souls reference? Someone who stands at the edge of the world rather than its center, and serves as a beacon of hope for others just by virtue of existing. Glowing starlight shining with possibilities. That's the kind of king I'd like you to become. The kind that can inspire people from atop castle walls, no matter the time or place. Can I really be all that? Sure you can. It might be impossible in reality, but anything's possible in fantasy. And people have always had a way of making fantasy become reality. That's why futures we thought we could only dream of eventually stop being dreams. Miriam was very talkative and a lot of fun to be around. But that only lasted for a year. A fairy girl saw me laughing in the field and reported me to the village elder. O nie, to tak jak w Polsce, nie wolno się uśmiechać. Who responded by taking away the staff of selection until I turned 16 and set out on my journey. From then on, every day was more painful than the last. That's the end of my winter memories. Co jest, urwał? My się cofamy? Jak Merlin powiedział, że że to będzie podróż od zimy do wiosny, to myślałem, że no zima, wiosna. A nie, że lecimy w tył zima, jesień, lato, wiosna.
見ていてくださいマスター。
Miał rację skubany. Jest ich mniej. A powiedział Gunui.
やることは変わらねえ。調子は悪くねえな。
Powiedział Gunui, że z każdą tą będzie coraz łatwiej. I miał rację.
櫛灘姫をあの辺りか。切るぜ。神髄解明完成理念収束鍛造技法臨界メイドの土産に拝みやがれ。これが俺のつむかり村正だ。若造てめえとは反りが合わねえよ。
Spell exploit, lie, rejection. Marin,
この辺りいじった方がいいんじゃないか。
櫛灘姫を髪に刺し
chłopco próbuje umrzeć.
切るぜ。折れんなよ。
お望みのままに。
先に行く。神髄解明完成理念収束鍛造技法臨界メイドの土産に拝みやがれ。これが俺のつむかり村正だ。
そう
やべえな、面白い。先切るぜ。
押し切ります。
ご苦労様。じゃあ次に行こう。
Setny dzwonek, let's go! W sumie ciekawym, czy mam dość materiałów na Oberon. Nie sprawdzałem. This happened when I was 12 years old. So you are 12 now, you have done well to grow this far. Right, I think it's time I sent you on an errand. I'm a little worried about letting you go alone, but you are stronger now that you can use Magecraft. You know where the Rift Cape is, yes? There's an Earth Clan fairy living there. I'd like you to bring this to him. Just make sure you are back by nightfall. Huh? No way. Could that house be... There was no mistaking it. That lone house on top of the cape was an iron theme park, an artisan workshop like Merlin had told me about. The kind of place at the very top of my bucket list, the kind that couldn't be found in Tintagel. It's a smithy! Fuck yeah! Whoa, this is amazing! Even I don't know what I was thinking at the time. I couldn't have acted more suspicious if I tried. I probably looked like a burglar. So it was no surprise when... What are you doing here, girl? Are you trying to get your head split open? Ah! Our first meeting couldn't have gone worse. His name was Hector. He was a blacksmith of the Earth Clan. He was an eccentric who'd been living on the Cape for hundreds of years, and everyone in the village feared him. He was really stubborn and kind of scary looking, but he was a true friend and never once lied to me. Jaka jest możliwość, że to jest ten sam Hector, co kiedyś? Bo jednym z ziomeczków tej Eisk był Hector the Black Knight. Nie jestem pewien, które oko mu się świeciło, ale może to właśnie to, które teraz ma zasłonięte. No, ktoś chciał dziadka, co nie? No to jest jeszcze jeden. That leather pouch is from Tintagel, so you weren't trying to steal my iron, you were bringing me some? So you are not a burglar, eh? So this is from the Tintagel elder. What was that? I can't hear you. Speak up. Enunciate louder. Hector's hearing was poor, so I had to be really loud if I wanted him to hear me. What's more, he hated fairies. Both his inner voice and his heart were dripping with pitch black hatred. He's gonna kill me if I stay here too long. He really is going to split my head open with that hammer. My excitement about being in a real smithy gone, I decided to leave the elder's package and beat a hasty retreat. But then... Wait, let me get a good look at you. You are the child of prophecy, aren't you? I see, so it's already been... Myślałem, że tu jest runa, a to jest po prostu guzik. I see, so it's already been 12 years since Ainsel made her prophecy. Get back to your village, that is no place for a young girl. I live out in this backwater so I don't have to see anyone. Don't you ever come here again, got it? I don't have time to deal with a child of prophecy. Yes, sir. Sorry for the intrusion. In a panic, I made my way out of his house, just avoiding the hammer he threw my way. I ran from the cave and straight back to the village. My steps were slow and plodding, with even less pep than usual. I came back. Didn't I tell you to stay away? What are you doing here? Why didn't you listen to me? Is every fairy with that face actually a boar? Or maybe a bear? Don't touch that, that's a processed iron. It will give any fairy who touches it awful high... Looks like you are okay, I see. You must look like a Wayne clan fairy, but you are actually with the Demon Boar clan. Of course, there is no such thing as the Demon Boar clan. So you are not afraid of iron or the forge, huh? What, you got an interest in them? I see. I see. Back again, are you? Well, I doubt anyone else in that village would want to spend time with me. Your outfit's rubbish. Nice that it has a lot of pockets, but the seams and finish are horrible. Here, give your elder a message for me. Tell him I will give him a discount if he sends someone to help me. Really? Hector, does that mean? Don't call me Hector, just Grandpa Smithy is fine. You'd better be here every other day to help out, got that? I don't know who taught you how to hold a tool, but you are doing it all wrong. You are going to hurt yourself that way. You gotta learn the fundamentals. Can't have you dying in a shop accident and ruining my reputation. If you are really interested in learning what it takes to be a smith, I can teach you. But don't expect me to pay you, even if you ought to be paying me for these lessons. I will put it all on a tab so you can pay me back when you make it big. And so I began studying a new field in preparation for my journey as the child of prophecy. Hector was rough and intimidating, but he also excelled at fine craftsmanship and intricate ornamentation. A year after I started helping him, I learned that Hector was famous in certain circles as a master smith. Ciekawe, bo kiedyś był bardzo dobrym krawcem. I found out he didn't just take jobs from other villages in southwest Britain. He also occasionally got special orders from big cities like Salisbury, Oxford, and even as far off as Manchester. For example, "Excuse me, is Sir Hector in?" It was the first time a customer had shown up personally at Hector's workshop. I tried to give her a proper welcome so it would reflect well on Hector. "Sir Hector, are you here? I'm Gawain. I sent you an order some time ago." I don't know if it was intentional or if she just couldn't hear me, but she ignored me completely. "So, you are Gawain, huh? Never thought I'd see another fairy knight. I can see you are a strong one. You ought to be able to handle this armor then. It's alright to go in the back room. If it fits alright, I can pack it up for you today. Give me a hand, Artoria, and make sure you don't drop it. It ain't cheap." "There's no need for that. If it fits well, I will just wear it out." "I see. Alright, come with me then. Artoria, you stay here and tidy up." I heard the clatter of armor being put in the back room, along with Hector and the fairy's conversation. Apparently, she was an amazing upper-class Fang clan fairy who had been chosen to become a fairy knight. She was also well known in Gloucester social circles, had impeccable manners, was as strong as she was tall, and she obviously had enough money to buy the silver armor Hector had been working on for the last 4 years. For some reason, I found myself getting angry. "This is fantastic work, Sir Hector. I am grateful you were here to do it. It was a fulfilling job, the only one I've had since I came here." "Really? I would think an artisan of your skill could easily find work anywhere. I know this is rude of me to suggest, but my own city still lacks a sizable smithy. If you think you might be amenable to moving there..." "Huh? What the hell is she on about? Did you hear that? It almost sounded like a bullfrog, or maybe a night crow." "Stay out of this, you idiot. Don't you know she's a fairy knight?" But come on, Grandpa. Who the hell does she think she is, trying to persuade you to move away? I won't deny that I had something of a foul mouth by this point. I blame Merlin for that. Still, I really was pissed off, so I marched up to the fairy knight and glared at her, hoping I'd make her leave. Oh, you must be Sir Hector's apprentice. I can understand how you feel. I would be sad to part ways with a trusted mentor as well. I am therefore willing to forgive this outburst. But regardless, don't talk to me again until you have grown up some. When you are as tall as I am, it's a literal pain in the neck to talk to smaller people. Now that I imagine anyone, not that I imagine anyone of your size could ever even begin to understand what it's like. Takie TVŻ lekkie czuję. Zupełnie jakby to powiedziała te 20 sekcji temu. And with that the fairy knight up and left. It was clear she had forgotten all about me the moment she stopped speaking to me. Her signature on Hector's order's slip didn't say Gawain, it said Barghest. Some weird curse kept me from reading it, but since I can always tell when someone is lying, I could see through it. I'm gonna remember that name, you see if I don't. Not bad, I ran out of things to teach you in only 4 years. Apprentice or not, you are a fully fledged smith now. Not much we can do about your lack of magical energy though. How are things with the village fairies? Do they still believe you are the child of prophecy? Things are the same as ever there. Half the village still doesn't believe I am. Everyone wants to send the child of prophecy on her way though, so things more or less work out. What about you, Grandpa? Do you really think I am the child of prophecy? Why ask me? I couldn't care less about Tintagel. Now go gather some sand from the beach. We need to make a lot of jewelry starting tomorrow. There's a festival coming up in the Kaishi village soon, and they ordered a bunch of cheap trinkets. Hector was very good with his hands, so in addition to weapons, armor and household items, he also made jewelry. A widać tutaj są jakieś. His workbench was always covered with different kinds of ornaments and accessories. He said they were just cheap trinkets meant to fool children, but for someone like me, who'd only ever had one outfit to call her own, they may as well have been the crown jewels. They glittered like stars in the night sky, red, blue, green, and sometimes even yellow. Apparently I had a habit of stopping what I was doing and gazing at the barrettes that were all arrayed on the workbench. One day on my second autumn of helping there, Hector saw me absorbed in them and said, "If you want, go ahead and take one of If you want, go ahead and take one to keep for reference. I can write it off within the margin of error. For a smith, the margin of error refers to products that are cracked or broken in the process of making something. Of course, Hector would never make anything defective, but he was kind enough to offer me one anyway to encourage me. But thanks, but no thanks. If I brought something of my own back, they'd just take it away again. I was thrilled that he offered it to me. I wanted so much to accept it that my vision blurred with tears. But the fairies of Tintager had proved with the staff of selection that I could never have anything I really cared about. Still, it did help me remember a conversation I'd had when I was younger. It was with Merlin when I was recklessly working day and night to try and move things along as fast as I could. Man, it sucks when things that should have disappeared long ago just stick around, like those narrow-minded fairies who keep trying to control you. This is the worst. Everyone in Britain is so awful now. Just kidding, but if that's how you feel, Artoria, you should say so. It's okay to want what you want, you don't have to deny yourself. Now, what is it you want the most right now? Don't be embarrassed, just tell me. I want a spell that can blow an enemy to smithereens. Here, like this. I see. So you need a tool you can charge with magical energy and a spell you can use to make gunpowder explode? This is dangerously close to magical terrorism. Then again, there's no telling when or where the black dogs might come after you. Okay, I will try putting together a little recipe. Just give me 6 days, okay? Let's see, I think there was a smith in Norwich who's an expert in this sort of things. You're so kind and helpful, Merlin. I bet you've been on a lot of dates, haven't you? Oh, don't know about that. I don't really understand much about that whole love business. It's a lot like food for me. Instead of thinking about my companion, all I think about is what it tastes like. That's kinda why neither fairies nor humans ever had much love for me. But then once I was suddenly thrust into a role where I had to be romantic, and I ended up being better at it than anyone else. So Nanoka. Honestly, I'm more unsure of what that says about me than anyone. So you don't have a single lover, even though you are the mage of flowers? Aren't you lonely? Maybe, though probably not too much since I didn't realize it until you said something. It's not something I ever worried about. I always knew I'd be forever out of reach. That said, for me, studying magecraft, looking for a way to save Britain, and finding a lover are all basically the same. What do you mean? What I mean is, it might be lonesome to look for a star you know doesn't exist, but it's also kind of fun. Then, on the morning I turned 16, the village fairies all gathered in the town square and told me, "We want to see proof that you really are the child of prophecy. That blacksmith who lives on the cliff is an imperial guard. You are the only one who's not worried of. You are the only one he's not worried of. You are the only one he trusts. If you are truly the fairy destined to save Britain, then kill him for us. Please, please, we are so anxious. Our every day is filled with fear. So go on, prove you can protect us by taking care of him. That's the end of my autumn memories. Kończą się troszeczkę te rzeczy, które mogą się wydarzyć. To już są jej 16 urodziny. Krótko po tym jest spalenie Tintagel. A Benji. Na wszelki wypadek. Nie żebym wierzył, że coś się złego może wydarzyć, ale tak na wszelki wypadek.
よし、戦いだ。苦手だけど全力で行こうか。
調子は悪くねえな。妖精がなんだ。やることは変わらねえよ。
何事もやればできるさ。
櫛灘姫を起きるぜ。
ターゲット。
そこに至るはあまたの研鑽。気づきに気づいた刀塚。縁起をもって宿業を断つ。八重垣作るは千字の刃。散った成仏していきな。
お前、夢のように片付けよう。
先に行く。
そうです。
いいぜ、連れてやる。
Słabnie z każdym atakiem.
さ切るぜ。
そうです。
わかった。
お前、夢のように片付けよう。王の話をするとしよう。
切るぜ。
そこは壁もなく城もなく国すらない始まりの空。地の底で輝く原初の星。魂のありかを見せようか。ガーデン・オブ・アバロン。
神髄解明完成理念収束鍛造技法臨界メイドの土産に拝みやがれ。これが俺のつむかり村正だ。わか
ステータス これでまだ倒れません。神明、落ち着いて、
切るぜ。
落ち着いて。それは全ての傷、全ての怨恨を癒す我らが故郷。権限せよ、ロード・キャメロット。
わかった。
Merlin is fucking dying there. It ain't about him.
ステータスアップ、これで耐えます。
櫛灘姫を髪に刺し、そこに至るはあまたの研鑽。気づきに気づいた刀塚、縁起をもって宿業を断つ。八重垣作るは千字の刃。散った成仏していきな。
そうどう
妖精が何だってんだ。やることは変わらねえよ。調子は悪くね
この辺りいじった方がいいんじゃないか。なに何事もやればできるさ。小さな
えな。
窓
切るぜ。
ここには一つ。そこは壁もなく城もなく国すらない始まりの空。地の底で輝く原初の星。魂のありかを見せようか。ガーデン・オブ・アバロン。
いいぜ、出直せ。
Wow. Kurde.
櫛灘姫。
No jeszcze
あ
raz.
の辺りだ。
会長、私は最悪の全ての傷、全ての怨恨を癒す我らが故郷。権限せよ、ロード・キャメロット。
神髄解明、完成理念収束、鍛造技法臨界。メイドの土産に拝みやがれ。これが俺のつむかり村正だ。
No.
ご苦労様。じゃあ次に行こう。
Gość po prostu nie chciał umrzeć. Apparently, the Earth Clan ferry living on the Cape used to be one of Queen Morgan's Imperial Guards a long time ago. The village ferry's worry was genuine. They really did believe that killing Hector would keep the village safe. So they closed in around me and begged me in all sincerity, please kill him for us. No. If you really are the child of prophecy, then kill the Queen's agent for us. It would have been almost impossible to refuse, so like always I took the easy way out, and so... Okay. Okay, I will. I am the child of prophecy after all. I decided to do what they wanted of me and went off to kill my friend. This is why I said I could never have anything I really cared about. I hate to kill him. I have 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 to kill him. If I don't kill him, they will think I'm an imposter, and they will kill me instead, among us. It was easy to sneak in, since Hector was hard of hearing. He was sleeping on his stone bed, completely defenseless. In my hand I had a rusty iron knife the fairies had given me. The truth is, it wasn't impossible to refuse. I was just scared. Scared of being called an imposter, scared of getting beaten for being useless. Scared that my life so far might have been for nothing. And so... I got so fed up and angry that I brought the knife down as hard as I could. Well, maybe things will work out. I shifted the now chipped knife and began walking the dark path back to the village. I was practically trembling with fear, but I also knew the village fairies were simple folk. I was almost strangely optimistic that I could get out of this as long as I explained everything. Don't let her fool you, she didn't kill the blacksmith. I was watching the whole time, she didn't do anything to him, she just cut one of his helmets. And that's not all, I know her magecraft is fake too, it's all just smoke and gunpowder. She's not the child of prophecy, she's not special at all. What did she say? Is that true? She couldn't kill the Imperial Guard, she wouldn't kill one of Morgan's agents. Then she can't be the child of prophecy. I knew it didn't make sense. I tried to run away, but the village fairies were all stronger than me and had more magical energy too. Grab Caster, grab the liar. Hand her over to Woodwoose's executioners as a child of prophecy imposter. They cuffed me in no time and threw me in an underground jail. The fairy who accused me was smiling so smugly, so triumphantly, but I wasn't surprised. Whenever she talked to me claiming to be my friend, she was always consumed with envy and doubt. She wasn't a bad person, it was just fairy nature, to be an asshole. Even when you know someone is objectively worse off than you are, you just can't help but be jealous when they are treated like they are special. After that, life in the village became very hectic. Woodwoose's executioners, a horrific group of soldiers who went around capturing fairies suspected of being the child of prophecy and taking them to the castle. They were to arrive in Tintagel in 3 days, and I was to wait for them in my cell until then. So you finally showed your true colors. I can't wait to hand you over to the High Queen. I never believed you were the child of prophecy. There is no way a fairy like you could be our savior. I don't want to hand you over to Woodwoods, but everyone else says that's what needs to be done with imposters. But is it really so important? It's awful that things have come to this. We were so close, so very close. But then I suppose it was always too much to hope for. This village would have disappeared the year you washed up on our shore if you hadn't come along. You and the treasure that was on your boat gave us hope, but now the treasure's all gone. Soon our village will be. Then again, if we all tell Woodwoods you are the genuine article, maybe we can still get a sizable reward. I'm sorry, Caster. I tried to talk the others out of this. I really did. I'm so sad things have turned out this way. Too. You really did do your best for us. A lot of fairies came to visit me in jail, each for their own reasons. The fairies of Tintagel were divided right down the middle into supporters of the Queen and supporters of the Child of Prophecy. The fact that I was in jail must mean that the pro-Queen fairies had gained a numbers advantage. There was no fairy left who could rescue me. But there were some who were willing to look the other way if I escaped, and I figured that was enough. Either way, everything hinged on what would happen in 3 days. I would have one last chance to escape after they let me out of jail, right before they handed me over to the executioners. I made sure to stay in shape so I could run whenever I needed to, and kept a constant eye out for opportunities. You better believe I'm going to escape. I've been training my whole life to go on this pilgrimage. I can't let it end before it even begins. Hearing commotion outside, I thought the executioners must have come and readied myself to escape. So you are still alive, huh? Guess not even these fairies were that stupid. Hector, what are you doing here? What happened to you? What, this? Don't worry about it. I had to beat a few fairies up to get here. But never mind that, you've got to go. Here, put this on. It's no helmet, but this hat should help protect your head and hide your face at least a little. A, to on jej dał ten nocnik na głowę. Huh? You mean you are here to help me escape? Oh, this hat's so cute and stylish. I knew you had good taste, Hector. Stow the compliments. Here, I got this back for you. It was always yours anyway. It was the staff of selection that had been taken from me when I was a child. 9 years had gone by since I last saw it, but it still felt like an extension of my body. Though sadly it looked like it had long since lost Merlin's flippant voice. Go on now, hurry. It won't be long before Woodwoods' executioners... Hector? Don't call me by that name. It will only bring you bad luck. I took out the guards, but there will be new ones here soon. We need to get you out of here while it's still dark. Run as far and as fast as you can. If you can make it to Salisbury's Plains... What was that? It's coming from outside. At the time, I could only imagine that the executioners had come and set the village on fire. I can't believe it. I knew they said they would have to cut down the number of mouths to feed for winter. But killing each other over it, that's not just stupid, it's downright pitiful. What's going on here? Why are the fairies who called for us killing each other? Who's in charge here? Where's the child of prophecy? Please stand back, Lord Woodwose. These fairies have all gone mad. We can't question them now. What would you have us do, sir? Damned bloodthirsty fools. Baton wielders, exterminate the residents. Spear wielders, guard the exits. We can't let any of them escape now. Don't bother putting out the fires until the fairies have been dealt with. But make sure to capture any fairy who could be the child of prophecy alive. Her Majesty's orders. No, I didn't have any particular plan. Heck, I didn't even have time to think. But just as I was about to make a run for the town square to try and rescue everyone... Stop, Artoria. You will never make it in time. You need to get away from here, now. Besides, why would you want to help them? They were going to sell you anyway. I know, but... they were still the fairies I'd grown up with. They may have lied to me almost non-stop for my entire life, but that didn't mean I could just abandon them. You fool. Just come with me, dammit. They are here for the child of prophecy. Once you are gone, there won't be a reason for the executioners to be here anymore. Once we reach the cover of the forest, you can do whatever you want. Grandpa took my hand and ran. Phew, there we are. You can go the rest of the way alone. I fought some of Woodwoose's soldiers on the way, so it won't be long before more show up. You need to get away from here before they do. What about you, Grandpa? I don't suppose you could come with me? No, I can't. I still have work left to do. Once I'm sure you have escaped, I will be heading right back to my forge on the Cape, and that will be that. You've been nothing but trouble, girl. Don't visit me again. But Hector, you are... I couldn't help it. I could see his kind-hearted lies. I could see the deep wounds on his sides, though he'd hidden with his clothes. I could see how his strong back had practically been cut to ribbons. And I could see that his failing heart would stop entirely once I took my eyes off him. Right, you fairies of paradise really are a pain, aren't you? The village is done for. The executioners are here. Hold your head high, grip your staff tight. Now is the time to begin your journey. Artoria. Remember, no matter what anyone says, even if you don't believe it yourself, you are the child of prophecy. You could have killed me that night, but you didn't. That's who you really are. No matter how much Britain rejects you, or how much the fairies shun you, or even how much weaker you are than them, you are still a better choice for savior than anyone else. I don't think you ever realized this yourself, but you are just not capable of getting angry for your own sake. And besides, you are the spitting image of her. A stubborn sore loser who keeps getting back up no matter how many times she falls. That's why I know you will see your chosen path through to the end. Now I want to go back to the fortune and live with you at the Cape. That would be way more fun. Besides, once I turn 17, the prophecy won't be true anymore, and I won't make any more trouble for you. But that dream would never come true. He never even heard what I wanted to say. I don't know who Grandpa was, or why he did so much for me. All I know is the heartbeat I can still hear today, the sound of my own, still living heart. Right, that's right. The one thing I have going for me is my ability to quickly cheer up, no matter how many times I'm brought down. I secured my new hat atop my head and gripped the staff of selection tight. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for raising me until I turned 16. I'm the Fairy of Paradise. I'm the one who's meant to bring Britain the salvation it really needs. So I'm going to begin my pilgrimage now, just like you wanted me to. But that was easier said than done. Forget beginning my pilgrimage. I couldn't even get anyone to take me seriously. I tried to meet with the head of the Wind clan in Salisbury, but the rebel army turned me away at the door. I tried doing a few odd jobs in response to their demands that I prove I was the child of prophecy, but which hole in the woods did you crawl out of? Your clothes are a mess, and you have got almost no magical energy. But at least you are a decent worker. Nice job taking care of the moors on the highway. I don't know how many centuries it will take you, but hey, good luck saving Britain. We don't need the child of prophecy here anymore, girlie. We have Lady Aurora looking out for us. But the fairies are waiting for the child of prophecy? Oh, don't let them fool you. They are just pretending. Fairies latch on to anything that seems like fun, or even just whatever's trendy. Nobody actually wants to believe in the child of prophecy. We'd all love it if Morgan went away, but her aside, we are happy with the way things are now. After being laughed off, I used my anger as fuel to take me from west to east and back again. After being fooling myself into thinking that starting with smaller villages would yield better results than big cities, I went around the forests visiting all kinds of places. But it was no different. Everywhere I went, people laughed at me, used me, and dropped me like so much garbage. On the surface they were all for the child of prophecy, but on the inside... Isn't there anything more fun to do? Now I see, they all love rumors about the child of prophecy, but the actual child is just a big pain. I had no one to teach me, and no companions to commiserate with. Every fairy in Britain hated me the second they laid eyes on me. Since humans had no love for fairies either, all I could do was travel alone. This is hard. Really hard. Consumed by depression, I decided to go to the Nameless Woods. I didn't have a particular plan in mind. I just wanted to be someone other than myself, even if only for a little while. But the curse of the Nameless Woods didn't even affect fairies from paradise, so much for that. Co do chuja? So I just pretended to have lost my memories and went off to the newcomer tent to sulk. O ty cholero jedna. But then a new fairy was carried in. Masz? He had lost his memory and was in such a bad shape both physically and mentally that I felt like I had to help him. But most of all, I thought, if he'd forgotten about the child of prophecy, maybe there's a chance we could be friends. That's the end of my summer memories. Czyli co, w Spring Memories będzie he just like me for real? He just like me, for hyper real. This is it, we are finally to the Spring Memories. And since they are spring, I'm sure they are going to be lots of fun. I bet any obstacles we run into here will be total pushovers, so you won't have to worry much about taking them down. I was hoping we wouldn't have to fight any more of those Moors. Me too, if those really are Toria's memories, given physical form, then I was only imagining how painful they must be for her. Even just facing them as Moors make me feel like my heart's being gauged out of my chest. Don't worry, that's all done with now that we are past summer. Spring memories are fun times, and fun times only. The only kinds of obstacles I'd expect to see here are things like... There will probably be Artoria herself dressed to the nines or an enormous feast full of delicious foods. That's all well and good, but before we start fighting, there's one thing I wanna clear up. You said that the Fairy of Paradise who rings all the bells of pilgrimage becomes the sacred sword itself, right? Does that mean Artoria's gonna disappear once it's done? Yes, that's right. Creating the Sacred Sword's conceptual foundation will destroy everything she was, is, and ever will be. That is the Fairy of Paradise's duty, her function, and even then, the Sacred Sword won't be easy to forge. Muzyka to jest tak bardzo Stay Night. Everything about her, every experience she's had, all her memories, even Spirit Origin, her very fate. will be used as materials to make it. It is not a sacrifice, it is an equivalent exchange. Jojojo, ty się z tym Full Metal Alchemistem nie zagolopopopopopypywuj. And it has to be her, it can't be anyone else. So we can't use Muramasa then? Hey! I know how you all feel, but please, understand, this really is the only way. She knew what would happen when she entered the spirit cavern. Yes, the situation may have forced her hand, but she is still heading to the site of selection of her own free will. Huh? You are all here? Artoria? Wait, you are back already? That doesn't seem right. Yeah, we still haven't fought any. I see. Oh, I see too. Well, that was easy, huh? It was literally over before I knew it. So that's the site of selection on top of that hill, huh? Okay, last one, there's a rotten egg. I can't believe it. All those horrible memories, and even at the end she... I know, it just ain't right. But you know, Marcisław, if nothing else, I'm glad you are so damn pissed off about it. So look, whatever happens next, just let the old man here handle it. Muramasa? What do you mean by... Never mind that now. Come on, we need to run, or she really will go on ahead of us. Either way, this is the end of her long journey. Let's see how this mission of hers plays out. Wow. Whenever I close my eyes, this is where I'd be. Whenever I sleep, this is where I'd be. No, that's wrong. It's a lie. Whether my eyes are open or closed, whether I'm asleep or awake. This is how the world has always looked to me. The wind, the clouds, they are not really a storm, they are all people's voices. It's so awful to look at that I've put out my own eyes. It's so horrible to hear that I've plugged up my ears. But it didn't matter, nothing banished the darkness or made the wind stop howling. This is the tainted land where I need to fulfill my duty as the fairy of paradise. I can't do this, I can't do this. But no one would listen no matter how loud I screamed. Besides, the wind was blowing so fiercely I couldn't even hear myself. After everything I experienced in the village and getting to know more fairies better than storm only better. After everything I experienced in the village and getting to know more fairies better, the storm only intensified. I have no idea which direction I should go or what I should even look for. I know how this sounds, but Queen Morgan was honestly kind of lucky. She wanted to make Britain into her own kingdom. It was thanks to that powerful, envy-inspiring goal of hers that she navigated this storm without losing her way. But I don't have anything like that, not one single thing. I hate Britain, I hate fairies, I hate humans. O. Kolejny dobry tekst. So how could I ever see a way through this storm? No, that's not right. I could see a way. It was shown to me when I rang the bells of pilgrimage. Artoria Pendragon, King of Britain. When I heard that she was my proper human history self, I thought I was going to throw up. The ideal knight, a king who lived her whole life for others, and sacrificed all she had for Britain's future. I don't want to end up like her. I could never live a life like that. But to create the sacred sword is to also determine her fate. Without the sacred sword, her life would be different. Without the sacred sword, Britain would come to a different end. Forget this. I should just give up. Yeah, that's it. After all, I'm the only one who can save her. That's what I thought to myself each and every time I heard the bells ring. But I can still see that star. I don't know what that star is. I do know it's not my dream, my goal, or something I care about. But it's always been there, ever since I was born. It may have grown small and weak at times, but it was always there, no matter how intense this storm got. I don't know where I want to go. I don't care about my duty. I just want to forget all this child of prophecy stuff. So why? I never stopped moving forward. I didn't want to give up. I couldn't let this storm beat me. I don't get it. Why am I so obstinate? What is it that's stopping me from throwing my life away? As a fairy of paradise, I didn't have a spring. I didn't have much of anything. That's why I at least want to know why I couldn't just give up. I'm no queen, I'm no savior, so what brought me an ordinary nobody like me so far? What did that tiny star mean for an ordinary girl like me? Ociul. Is this the site of selection? The forge meant to make the sacred sword? That's right, that thing in the middle there is the furnace, the center of the universe. That's where the fairy of paradise is meant to go. All you have to do is stand there and the sacred sword will come into being. And not just for this Lostbelt either. It will also finally bestow you with the sacred sword, the one whose concept was wiped clean from your world. And it won't just be something a heroic spirit temporarily reproduces. It will be a weapon capable of defeating an invader from a foreign world for the humans of this time period. Does that mean doing this will save Marcisław and Mash's world? It will make the impossible possible. They will go from having no chance to having a small chance. It will? Well, that's all the more reason to do this. Britain will go back to the way it used to be, and it will save the other outside world too. What more could we ask for? But it will also mean... Hey, what's wrong? You both look almost sick. What is it? Do you need to rest up outside? It's okay if you do. This probably won't take you long. This probably won't take too long anyway. It's not that. Yes, that's right. Creating the sacred sword's conceptual foundation will destroy everything she was, is, and ever will be. Come on, Artoria, this is nuts. You don't have to do this. Don't be silly, Marcisław. You are the one who praised me for not running away. Don't you dare talking back like that to me, girl. Okay, here goes. Oh, since I won't have another chance to say this, I need to get something off my chest. I hated every minute of my life. Same. Everything about it. Humans, fairies, Britain, real. My duty, everything. Fighting is terrifying, hatred is exhausting. I would have been so much happier just living a normal life. But I knew how much saying that would disappoint everyone, so I just had to act like a good, dutiful child of prophecy. And that made our journey together a balancing act for me, a hard one. Every time I thought, well, I somehow hang on this time, but I'm sure I will give up next time. Honestly, no one's more shocked than me that I made it this far. Forging the sacred sword means erasing fairy Britain from existence. I will never really love fairies or humans, but I would always see the wish they held in their hearts. Every one of the fairies was suffering inside. They all wished for salvation. Even if they are sinners, even if they are just getting what they deserve, I can't believe they brought this on themselves. Because hey, we are all the same. Lies of omission and outright deception are just parts of life. And even under all those lies, everyone truly wished to be saved. I swear, I really wish they'd cut that kind of stuff out. It was really hard walking this Avalon path. Sometimes I just wanted to shout, "Can't someone cut me some freaking slack?" But looking back now, I'm glad. My life wasn't all bad after all. Until now, standing here, I didn't think there was a way I, of all people, could save this world. That someone like me could never be allowed to end their world. I mean, it's not fair to decide a world's fate when you don't even like the world, right? Right. But you're still going to do it anyway, huh? Yeah, I am. I'm going to fulfill my duty here, and the crazy thing is, even I don't know why. It's probably for some silly, selfish reason, something no one else could ever understand. You know, I bet it's the same sort of thing that kept you going in the Garden of Lost Will, Marcisław. And the same kind of thing that made you stand firm in the face of the calamity in Norwich, Mash. I'm not doing this for anyone else, I'm doing this for me. I'm not even doing it because it's right. I think I've been making my way through this storm because there's something I just can't turn my back on. My fingertips dissolve first. I can feel the contours of my entire body fading away. My memories will probably go after this, then my sense of self. The planet's inner sea isn't stripping away all my memories at once, like one's just as good as another. To make the sacred sword, it has to go through them carefully, so it could understand humanity in the present day. I was only ever a means to learn about them, so it could shape a better, more powerful sacred sword. Good, this should make me into a good sword. Calm down, Shiro. A sword bright like the star I saw in that storm. The planet's light that won't ever fade in the face of the wicked. A sword that isn't me, from a place that isn't here. A sword bearing the wishes of the masses and hope for their happiness. A sword who can hold her head high at the sight of selection and become the saber fit to stay by your side. And become the saber fit to stay the night. Oh, I'm so glad. As caster, the Fairy of Paradise, I may not have had spring memories. But as Artoria, as myself, I have such wonderful memories of my journey. My body is gone now. By creating the sacred sword, I will finally fulfill my duty as the Fairy of Paradise. The Avalon the Fae. My journey as caster will come to an end. And that's okay. I didn't come this far because I was afraid to die. Still, I wish I could have found out what that light was. The light I've seen all my life. The light that's been me. The light I've seen all my life. The light that's seen me all my life. I wanting to know what it was, and being determined not to give up until I found out is what's kept me going all this time. I thought I'd find out somewhere on my pilgrimage, but I never did. That's the one regret. Yeah? Can't end things just yet then, can you? Huh? What are you doing here? What do you mean? What am I doing here? Who the hell else is gonna forge this sword? My whole life's been about making blades and cutting through destiny and karma. I'm Senji goddamn Muramasa. Go on, move aside, you brought the iron, now let the Go on, move aside, you brought the iron, now let the swordsmith do his job. Oh, so this is the planet's inner sea, and the universe's fairness, huh? Oh boy, just getting close is enough to burn you. Now, that's what I'm talking about. This right here, this is a job worth doing. Thanks, Artoria. Guarding you wasn't a bad gig, but this is much more my kinda work. If I got a say in it, I will take a searing forge over escort duty any day of the week. No, you can't. Thank you so much, but you can't do this. It will burn you to ash. Fine by me. Swordsmiths, we are born to pound iron. If I can do that in the god's own domain, that's worth burning my life away. Besides, a smith is supposed to be hot, so I ain't gonna stop pounding for nothing. Not even if my whole spirit origin burns up. Oh hui. There we go, it's coming along nicely. Basic shapes all set. Now we've just gotta temper it. Chuju zbolały, jak to zabije Kernunosa. No jak to kto? Pan Marcisław. No, stop, you can't. Huh? I'm floating. Why am I floating? Oh, that will be because I took over here. You are probably getting booted out so you don't get in the way. Alright, child of prophecy, see you around. Got more iron than I need for this sword, so don't need to use it all. Especially if you still got something left to do. I could use this power for the final finishing touch, but I want you to take it for yourself. In exchange, I'm gonna use this to finish the job. Since you bought my life, seems only right that I pay you back with it, right? Ale Oberon zapłacił. Don't be ridiculous, you have more than paid me back for that. Besides, you are from the outside world, and you are Marcisław's enemy. You don't have any connection to Britain. Don't you have another job you need to do? True, I don't know how I'm gonna face the foreign god now, but hey, now I will probably never see her again anyway. Don't worry about it, I'm doing this cause it's what I want, just like you. This was always my destiny. That said, I'm sorry I never got to make you that beret. Artoria? Her spirit origin signal is gone. Artoria, I know the sacred sword had to be made, but did it really have to be? I know, right? They had to be able to come up with a better way. It's just so inefficient, not to mention inhuman. But I guess it's probably too much to ask for a planet's soul. That's basically what the inner sea is, to think humanly. Sorry to keep you waiting, Marcisław. Masz? This is the essence of the sacred sword. Go on, take it. I'm sure Da Vinci and the other people at Chaldea will be able to use this as a base for a powerful offensive spell. I wish I could have given you Excalibur itself, but I'm afraid things didn't work out that way. It looks just like a Holy Grail. Yes, senpai, it looks like it's a magecraft principle of the same type, no quality, as a Holy Grail, but that's not the issue. You mean, how did she come back? I'm as surprised as you are. I really thought the Forge would just be turning out a new Excalibur, especially for Chaldea's use. Hang on, where's the ginger? I see, so there was someone who gave her a tiny reprieve. I can't believe the old man is gone. Now I see, it wasn't Artoria's spirit origin that disappeared. It was actually Muramasa. He always did refuse to compromise on his work. Yes, the heroic spirit Senji Muramasa sacrificed himself for what he believed in. The only reason I'm standing here now is because he insisted on performing the finishing touches himself. Now that the sacred sword has been delivered to the planet's inner sea, the premise behind this Lostbelt has been overturned. In time it will be gently pruned away as though it never existed. But before that happens, there's something you need to do. Fairy Britain, the lost world made by the traitorous Morgan, is not part of this Lostbelt. As such, the calamity it created is not subject to the pruning theoretical phenomenon. It represents a threat to humanity that you must defeat yourselves. Nie martw się, Artoria, mamy conceptual damage konkretnie pod ten problem. There's something different about you now, but I'm glad you are safe and sound. Welcome back, Artoria. Thanks, Marcisław. I'm back as the custodian of the sacred sword and stronger than ever. True, no matter how you slice it, you have definitely powered up. And wait, that magecraft theory. Instead of hero creation, you have sacred sword creation? No fair, how did you get a skill like that? Are you out to steal my thunder or something? Alright, Merlin, that's enough of that. It's too bad Foy isn't here right now. Yeah, he would shut him up right fucking now. Alright, I know we both have different roles to play, so I will take this as a win and move on. The heroic spirit protected her, and she still lives as a result. This too is fate. The sacred sword has been forged, and this is the moment a planet is born. I wtedy wszyscy wstali i zaczęli klaskać. The child of prophecy fulfilled her duty, aided by the foreign mage. So now it's my turn to help. I'm going to do a small-scale restoration on Britain to the way it was before things turned completely hopeless. Specifically, I'm going to turn back the clock on Kernunos at least a little bit. Turn back the clock? You mean to before he appeared? That's right, once Kernunos shows up and covers the land in his curse, not even the Sacred Sword's protection will be enough for you to win. So I'm going to have him go back in time by, let's say 2 hours. See, I suspected something like this might happen, so I've kept the entire pit in a dream. Once I have Kernunos wake up, it will be as though the events of that dream, that is, everything that took place there over the last 2 hours, never happened. You did something similar in Uruk, didn't you? Indeed, I've been pretty It's been pretty boring waiting around here ever since I was freed from the garden, so I spent some time casting a spell on the pit. My spirit origin is practically falling apart now as a result, but oh well. Suffice to say, once I disengage my dream zone, I will probably disappear along with it. I wish I could stick around to see how your battle goes, but sadly, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But don't worry about me, even I felt bad about basically demanding Artoria be the only one to sacrifice everything. Sure, things didn't turn out exactly as I planned, but hey, that's why we build in margins of error. For my last trick, I will even help you out by sending you straight to the storm border, without having to go back through the spirit cavern. When you get there, it will be 1 hour before Kernunos shows up, and you will have another hour after that before his curse spreads everywhere. That gives you 2 hours to settle this, but this time you should at least have a fighting chance. Muramasa and I both gave everything we had to this. All you have to do now is the best you can. Isn't that right, Nameless King? Can I ask you to watch over Marcisław and Mash for me? Of course, you take care too, Mage of Flowers. After all, this is just a shadow of Avalon, so I'm sure the real you is still imprisoned in that tower. So right through that too, did you? Yeah, you are definitely the Sacred Sword's Guardian now. To nie jest Dark Souls 3, to jest Dark Souls 10. Arctrons czy jakkolwiek. I tutaj Nameless King jest po naszej stronie. Alright, then back to die in Britain with you all. Kiedy wychodzi ten cholerny Arctrons? Jego chcę przejść. O, 5 godzin temu dostaliśmy kolejne zrzuty ekranu z kolejnej lokacji. Ja pierdolę. Chwila, wróć, bo mamy to zdjęcie i takie, no co, no, wygląda jak kartuskie podziemia. Katakumba. Co w tym specjalnego? Kolejny slajd, proszę. O! O! Wow! Nice. No fajna ta nowa Duna. Swoją drogą to chyba dostało jakieś demo ostatnio. Wchodzę właśnie na ich oficjalną stronkę. I tak patrzę. A, demo dostało teaser na początku miesiąca. Ale ponoć demo ma być całkiem spore. Mam nadzieję, że w demku będzie ta wieża Heide i będą tam ci cholerni krzyżowcy, którzy jednak nie są. Jak się kurna cieszę, że skończyłem Dark Souls 2 wszystkimi możliwymi buildami, jakie mnie interesowały, czyli fizyczny, magiczny i ten... i kapłana. I już nie mam najmniejszej ochoty w nie więcej grać. Once you overcome its twilight skies, you will find clear blue ahead. Good, I got them back safely. I'm glad I made it before I ran out of time. Oh, though I just remembered I forgot to ask something. I've been following the Chaldean stargazer's journey with my clairvoyance as much as possible. And Marcisław talked to himself a lot more than usual this time. I wonder what that was all about. O kurwa! Co? Wejdźmy w interlude. Powiem tylko tak. Implikacja jest na najprostszym poziomie taka. Merlin kogoś nie widział. Kompletnie. British airspace. 2 hours after the demonic dog's appearance. That giant demonic beast. I see, so that's the Black Dog's king. A magical energy eater who feasts on smoke and lightning. So Barghest has become a calamity. And Kernos's curse shows no sign of slowing down. There's nowhere left to run. The way things are going, all fairies are destined to become an unseelie court, or turn into Moors. Nadal mi się nie podoba, co zrobili z Unseelie. Either way, there's only a handful of sane fairies left. I don't know how long I can hold out either. If this really is the Great Calamity, then it's all her fault. Things turned out this way. Aurora, my love, my reason for existing, my... Listen to me, Lancelot. Ainsel is a very dangerous fairy. She always makes such nonsensical prophecies, and nobody has any clue about her clan's true nature. Who knows what she might do if she catches everyone's attention and becomes the talk of all Britain? Remember, the Mirror Clan took in the Fairy of Paradise just like the Rain Clan once did. It's terribly irresponsible of her to make a prophecy like that now, especially when the Great Calamity could happen at any time. Why it couldn't be a more obvious revolt against Queen Morgan? Just thinking about it makes my wings go dull. You understand me, right? After all, you are my prince in shining armor. You always bring me whatever I desire most, don't you? She doesn't have any wicked thoughts whatsoever. Really, good and evil don't factor into it at all. Most people think of her as the kindest, most compassionate fairy, one who strives for a world in which fairies and humans can coexist in peace. But they are wrong, that's just the image she projects. The only one she truly loves is herself. The only thing she cares about is maintaining a world where she is always beloved, a world where she can always be on top. She only advocates for humans so they will fawn all over her. She only guides fairies so they will all respect her. She seems like such a skilled leader because she never fights with anyone. She didn't survive this long because she is strong. She's just always had a gift for dragging other leaders down. Every time a fairy more popular than her shows up, she would send the world down a dark path according to her whims. This time was no different. She didn't mean any harm. She just came to the realization that the Mirror Clan was dangerous and believed it with all her heart. So I killed them just like she wanted. It was clear beyond any doubt that the Mirror Clan has done nothing wrong. But I still had to kill them, or Aurora really would have withered away. As a fairy, Aurora's true skill is to completely convince herself of things that always work out in her favor. Ej, to jak w Chainsaw Manie Power. To też jest jej zdolność. Że jak sobie coś ubzdura, to potrafi sobie wmówić, że to prawda. That's why she is neither good nor evil, just stupid. The reason she never lost her radiance over the 3000 years of her life is that her self-esteem is not of this world. I buried my face in hands stained with the Mirror Clan's blood, trying to avert my eyes from what I had done. I had no right to ask their forgiveness or even to apologize. I knew what kind of person Aurora was, and I still put her radiance first. Because I cared more about her than I do all the other fairies in Britain. Aurora didn't do anything wrong. I'm the only wicked creature here. I've committed so many crimes all because I didn't want to lose her love, even though I knew it wasn't genuine. But that day was special. The Mirror Clan was special. They were a gentle group of fairies protecting Albion's corpse, and by extension me. Not one of them so much as resisted. If anything, they seemed to pity me as they came to offer up their own lives. I didn't have a choice. Aurora would have withered and died if I hadn't done this. Good. This isn't my fault. I didn't want to kill them. Aurora, I did this for you. All I want in return is for you to smile and say thank you. I decided not to fly, so I wouldn't leave any evidence. On the night I returned, covered in mud and soaked to the bone. I can't believe the entire Mirror Clan's city is gone. What could have happened to them? They say it was a Morse attack, but how could Morse have gotten past the city walls? It must be Queen Morgan's doing. She must have gotten mad at Ainsl's prophecy and... Don't be ridiculous. Queen Morgan is nothing if not prudent. She would never do anything like that. She valued the Mirror Clan's prophecies more than anyone. And Ainsel was a wonderful clan leader who only ever wanted what was best for Britain. Ah, poor Ainsel, how could this happen to you? Whatever attacked the Mirror Clan is the foulest of beasts. The most rotten, hateful monster in all of Britain. Even if it may seem pretty on the outside, it only manages that by imitating me. Ah, what a horrendous, awful creature. Just thinking about it makes me sick. It was a miracle, it really was. Back in that dark bog, when I was still just a pulsing lump of flesh, she took me in her arms and cradled me like I was the most important thing in the world. Hello there, darling one, or perhaps I should say good morning. My name is Aurora, what's yours? In that moment I gained both mind and body. I knew what it was to feel and to admire. I knew what it was to lose someone so deeply it could never be shaken. But, of course, that's just who she is. That's just who she is. I knew why she cradled me in her arms back then. I know that she doesn't actually love me, but even so, I still love you, Aurora. That's right, I can maintain this form as long as I have these feelings. Even without Queen Morgan's gifted name, I can still remain myself as long as Aurora is around. Without her, I'd probably return to my original form. To who I became when I bore the hatred of all the northern fairies who were killed in the War of Spring 8,000 years ago. I'm going to go to Salisbury. If Britain really is about to end, I want to spend my final moments as her knight. Heal them, heal them, heal the northern fairies. They are the invaders who brought the calamities upon us. Are there any fairies who've been infected with Morse poison? If you find one, capture and heal them before they become Morse. Round up the humans, make them fight the Morse. Heal any who refuse as an example to the others. The cathedral, open the doors to the cathedral. The city is tainted, run for the cathedral. Lady Aurora will help us, Lady Aurora will save us. She's the new Queen of Britain, I'm sure she will sacrifice herself to the Moors to save us all. About that. Oh my, they all look so dreadful now, and to think they used to be such peaceful fairies. Aurora, who's there? How did you get in here? It's me, Aurora. I came down from the bell tower. The city is in chaos, most of the fairies have lost their minds. It's only a matter of time until they storm the cathedral. I hate to say this, but Salisbury is done for. Oh my, I see. Yes, of course. I still have you, Melusine. Thank goodness you are alright. You are, aren't you? Oh, but of course you are. You are the strongest fairy knight in all of Britain. You never get injured or degrade, no matter what. You are still my beautiful beloved knight, no different from the day I met you. You couldn't have come at a better time. I know you were the only one I could rely on. Yes, you are right. Salisbury is done for. No, Britain itself is doomed. If only there were a way we could survive. How did things ever come to this? It's so terribly sad, but I'm afraid there's no other way, Melusine. Would you stay with me? I need you. Yes, of course. I'd be happy to spend our final moments together. I need you to help me escape. You can take me away from here, right? What? Is it so surprising? It's a natural response to run from danger, isn't it? Not in this case. You're just not bothering to think again. Where would you run to, Aurora? Where could you hope to go after abandoning this world and all the fairies who believe in you? Yes, it's all such a shame, but they won't love me anymore, right? So forget about them. Let's go somewhere more fun instead. The world outside Britain. You heard about it from the Chaldeans, right? I'm sure it must be better than this boring old world. It's a world of nothing but pure, weak, filthy humans. Making my ideal world where there should be easy. And you and I will be the only two fairies in it. That's what you want, right? My darling child, my little Melusine, I love you more than anyone right now. Now come, take my hand and let's go start our new life together, okay? Yeah, right. That is what I want. But if we did that, you'd probably just do the same thing to that world that you have done to this one. All while telling yourself you are not aware of what you are doing. Your entire purpose is to be loved more than anyone else. Melusine, what are you talking about? Where's Coral? I don't see her anywhere. Coral? Alright, Coral. I turned her into a caterpillar because she was getting on my nerves. Then I accidentally stepped on her. Be careful you don't step in the mess over there. You will track it all over my nice, clean floor. Aurora, I want you to know that I love you. I love you whether you believe it or not, whether you even care or not. No matter how evil you might be, I will still make all your wishes come true. Oh, that's wonderful. I don't know what you are talking about, but yes, that sounds lovely. Then come on, let's go to the outside world. I'm sure we will make such a wonderful time there. Huh? Don't you see? That would never happen. That can't ever happen. You'd never find the love you need in the outside world. That was the only place you could be more beloved than anyone. Proper human history isn't as simple as Britain. They'd see you for how evil you are in an instant. Do you really think you could survive in a world like that? You who can't even bear to go without absolutely pristine water? Your wings, your face, everything about you would fade and waste away. And that would be more than you could bear. You'd never be able to love yourself again. But you'd keep on deceiving yourself, trying to live the same way you always have, even though you'd no longer recognize yourself. Every morning you'd look in the mirror and die a little more inside. Maybe that's just normal life for other fairies. Maybe they wouldn't think anything of it. But for you, it would be the cruelest torture imaginable. Every day you'd cry yourself to sleep in despair, unable to even muster the courage to end your own life. Every day would be a fresh hell where you clinch to glory that will be forever beyond your reach. Every day you'd hate yourself more and more. And that would just be... What are you saying, Melusine? What are you saying, Melusine? What an awful fake fairy you are, talking about a future that could never come to pass. Why the very idea of me becoming more miserable with every day sounds even worse than death. Now, never mind that, hurry and take me to the outside world, to where everyone will love me again. Because you only live to please me, right? That's right. It would have been better if I had only lived for myself. If I did, then I would have kept you alive no matter what. Without you, I will just go back to being a hunk of flesh. But I can only live to please you, and that is why I can't take you to a place that would be pure hell for you. Even now, I still remember when we met. I can see it like it was yesterday. I remember the wind that blew through the dark bog. I remember the way you shone so brilliantly. I remember how I swore to give everything I had to protect you. I love you, Aurora. I love you so much. Even if I should lose this form before, I will always... Even if I should lose this form forever, I will always... Patrzcie, piszcie w języku... Smoczyska pierdolonego. Jak to mówią stolarze? Dobrze, że zdech. Jeden, dwa, trzy, cztery, pięć, sześć, siedem, osiem, dziewięć. That's it, boys! That's what we've been waiting for. Kolejny 9 strzałek, kurwa jego mać. No, ale zostają nam w takim razie tylko 2 sekcje. Bo jest 30 sekcji łącznie. Plus te interludy i cała reszta i w ogóle. I ten, no... Co tam jeszcze zostało? A, epilog. No. W sumie, co jest dzisiaj na banerku? Sitonaj! Kurna! Not even a single thought crossed my mind. O, więcej niż minimalka. Już są 2 4-gwiazdkowe CE. I złote bolsy. Lansa. Chin Lianyu. Nawet nie jestem pewien, czy jej NP dostaje jakieś fajne buffy za level. Pewnie jakoś tam podnosi death downa czy coś. O, nowe. Okej, nazwę tą rolkę... Oceniam tą rolkę jako kurde Hinole out of 10. I Budika. Hinole i Budika. Piękny zestaw. No to w takim razie jeszcze te dwa Tiketsu. W odwrotnej kolejności niż zazwyczaj, ale well. O, to było zabawne. Czyli co, zostaje nam w takim razie chapter 29, gdzie pozbędziemy się najpierw Bargest i wszystkiego innego i pewnie też zabijemy Kernunosa, a potem będziemy musieli sami sobie spuścić w pierdol.
マナプリズムと交換？用意した甲斐があったな。まだ見て。
Dobra, nieważne, wracaj mi na ten ekran najważniejszy. Oddal mi to, chcę zobaczyć jak świat płonie w całości. O, a ktoż to polazł do Norwich? Dobra. Czyli tak, co nam tu jeszcze zostało? Zostało nam raz, dwa, trzy, 4 dni do tego, do Oberona. I coś czuję, że do tego czasu chyba zdążymy skończyć cały ten chapter, a to bardzo fajnie się składa, bo bardzo nie chciałem spędzać na samej konkluzji więcej niż tygodnia. No, to ten. Widzimy się jutro na 29. Może zrobimy cały.